3-minute rounds and amateur mixed martial arts rules in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he enters the cage with a mixed martial art record of 3 victories, 1 defeat, representing MAXT. Please welcome Scott Matthews. His opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He enters tonight with a mixed martial arts record of 5 victories, 2 defeats, representing SBG South Shields. Please welcome Mitch Dobbins. Our referee in charge of the action, Mr. Dean Weir.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have an amateur featherweight competition here at FCC 20. Scott Matthews, 3-1, making his FCC debut in the blue corner, wearing the black Venom trunks. He takes on SBG South Shields' Mitch Dobbins, 1-0 here at FCC. They touch gloves, and Scott Matthews out of the gate quick.
Wasting no time, either of these young men, Steve.
No, Dobbins on his, working inside the man's guard now, stands up, looks to land some ground and pound.
It's perhaps one of the more highly credentialed amateur fights on tonight's card. Dobbins fighting out of SBG South Shields under former Cage Warriors world champion Alex Enland. Now turning out to be as good a coach as he is a fighter with that amazing amateur squad he's fostered up in the north of England.
Absolutely. And again, you see sometimes in some of the SBG fighters, you see a little bit of Enland's patience and his fight IQ in his fighters. And it's impressive to see at such a young level in their amateur careers.
Absolutely. I mean, Alex was obviously a professional fighter himself when he started coaching. And he really took that approach of, you know, what would I do in this situation? What could I do better in this situation? And he's sort of instilling that. And that really is the SBG mindset through and through.
Like the fact that Matthews isn't panicking off his back, landed a pretty stiff up kick there, was looking to control his man with the feet on the top of the knees, but Dobbins jumps back into the half guard now and looks to work the pass.
Yeah, patience always has been a virtue for the SBG guys, beg your pardon. Whether that's SBG South Shields or SBG Manchester, have always been well represented here at FCC, or indeed any of the SBG satellite gyms around the world. Game planning, the mental aspect of training and putting a plan of attack together.
Both guys working very, very technically here, taking their time. It's all a matter of inches and centimeters, looking to pass, looking to control.
Yeah, look for Dobbins to try and slide that knee through to pass from the half guard of Scott Matthews, who's doing a great job of neutralizing his man so far. And yeah, when we did see Dobbins posture up earlier on, gave him a nice heel to the jaw for his troubles.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Certainly keeping Mitch Dobbins thinking is the man from MAXT.
Matthews looking very composed and relaxed on his back. Not the position he wants to be in, but certainly looks like he's been there before and is comfortable defending.
Yeah, 5th amateur contest for Scott Matthews.
Mitch Dobbins.
8th for Mitch Dobbins.
Yeah, Mitch Dobbins working the body there, trying to open up the head. But I'm impressed with Matthews' composure from not dominant positions, from being controlled. He's worked very hard to. Very nice.
Well, he stopped a lot of Mitch Dobbins' offensive work there. I don't think Mitch was necessarily going hell for leather to pass that guard. I think he's perhaps trying to rack up a bit of cage time in here. We did see him pass the guard at the end, so he you know, if it was the fact that he was struggling with it, he knows now he can do it. So perhaps that's going to give him a bit more confidence in the second round. Conversely, from Scott Matthews' point of view, he knows he can keep Mitch Dobbins at bay.
Absolutely. I mean, in bad position, but at no point was he in danger of a submission or in danger of giving up a position for some hellacious ground and pound. I'm looking forward to the second round here. I think that Matthews needs to be on the front foot.
Absolutely. He's clearly going to be a round down on the scorecards. He's going to have to make a statement here in the second. FCC 20 here at the Macron Stadium in Bolton, reaching the business end of the card.
Oh, some nice dirty boxing there and a good knee to the body in response from Mitch Dobbins.
Beautiful stuff in tight there from Matthews. He's going to have to be very careful now as Dobbins goes for the single leg. That's how we got the takedown in the first round. Switching now to attack the second leg.
Yeah.
Good balance so far from Matthews, but we'll see how long this lasts if Dobbins can rip him off the cage.
Yeah, if he can look just to get a little bit more, pardon the expression, under the crotch, he could certainly get a high crotch takedown from here. It's just got to slide past that knee. Again, Matthews defending very well against the cage. Not what he wants to be doing, but not giving anything away to Dobbins at all. This is Dobbins again. Whenever he gets the opportunity, chips away at the body.
Yeah, we often talk about it, Steve, being able to neutralize your opponent's offense and the mental toll that may take after a while, but Mitch Dobbins looks almost serene in there when he's going for these takedowns. It doesn't matter if he can't get it in the first minute, maybe he'll get it in the second.
Corner of Dobbins screaming for him to switch it up to the double. Looks like he's starting, no, looks to go to the other side with the single leg again. Again, Matthews doing very, very well to defend the takedown.
Well, you're exactly right there, Steve. He's doing very well to defend the takedown, and the danger there in switching for a double is that Dobbins leaves his head in for the guillotine choke. So what he's trying to do here is keep that head on the right side as he switches legs for the opposite angle on the single leg. He just doesn't want to leave that neck in under the armpit. Look at me, I think I'm Josh Palmer.
Oh, it's fantastic. I almost felt like I was sitting next to Josh himself. Again, both fighters work, and Matthews with a rude little smile on his face there, as I think he knew what was coming, but
Dobbins has to be careful here. He did leave that neck. That's exactly what we were talking about a moment ago, Steve. He did leave that neck in, and perhaps a more storied submission artist may have been able to finish it. Regardless, Matthews now finds himself on his back with Dobbins in the guard. He had the single butterfly, opted to release and close the guard.
Yeah, and Dobbins now looking to get that posture. Gotta be very nice control.
Matthews just hooked the leg there. Dobbins trying to get a couple of strikes in before the clock ticks down. He won't.
But again, a round full of positional control and physical control from the SPG South Shields man.
Absolutely, and you know, the telling thing here is that, you know, Dobbins has been the aggressor for those first two rounds, and he's still looking in fairly good kip. He looks like he could do another 2, 3, 4 rounds of this, and that is a dangerous prospect for Scott Matthews, because as much as we've praised his defensive capability, there comes a point where you have to say, well, actually, there's no point scoring output here.
Absolutely. Although not the recipient of, you know, the fabled damage, he has been the recipient of being controlled and owned for the majority of both rounds. Perhaps the first more so than the second.
Absolutely, you know, this can be just as much a point game as it can be anything else, and that's the way Mitch Dobbins is choosing to play it. It's on Scott Matthews then to find a way out of that situation, to find a way around the offense of Mitch Dobbins.
Absolutely, and Dobbins has put Matthews in a position where Matthews has to look for the finish, and some short-range dirty boxing there by Matthews signals his intent.
Yeah, Matthews can hit.
But unfortunately, he was always looking for the dirty boxing because Dobbins was coming in, and now Dobbins has that clinch and has Matthews shoved up against the cage again. And you'd think he's going to work here for a little while and then look for the takedown.
Absolutely. I mean, and this is where a guy like Scott Matthews is going to come unstuck if he's trying to implement that dirty boxing game plan against a guy like Mitch Dobbins. Dobbins is the taller man. He can go to the plumb clinch and just fire knees to the head and body all day. If this was under the pro rules, he could chuck the elbows in as well.
Dobbins still controlling Matthews up against the cage, working for the single leg takedown, right in his corner as well. So coach is being able to give him all the instruction he could possibly want there.
Yeah, Matthews needs to create a frame on the face here and just get a little bit of distance to get something working, whether it's a quick switch of the angles of the hips, whether he tries to work that dirty boxing again. He's got to do something, but the first step is frame off the face, make that gap.
Yeah, I mean, Dobbins using his head really well there, the head positioning to apply pressure to make things uncomfortable and also to protect himself. Really, really good work up against the cage there by Mitch Dobbins.
You know, credit to Scott Matthews here. He's not looking particularly frustrated.
No.
I'd like to see perhaps a bit more urgency, but, you know, he's not looking like he's mentally checked out of this fight yet.
No, absolutely. And again, in the grappling exchanges and when it's nice and close like that, one sloppy move can lead to the end of the fight. I think Matthews is doing very, very well.
Needs to get those hips working. Can't be too long left in this third and final round.
And he's trying to control Dobbins' hips with the feet, but prefers to pull it back into a closed guard. I mean, a horrible position as well, up against the cage, not a lot of place to kind of wriggle, move. But another up kick through, and he almost fell into a triangle. But now Dobbins a little too savvy for that. Scooches out into side control.
I think Dobbins was okay with the position there, but that up kick certainly had him thinking twice about looming over Scott Matthews.
And again, oh, I mean, such a quick mount there. But fair play. Again, Matthews works hard, pulls him back into the half guard, locks it down a little bit. We see if Dobbins has watched any Randy Couture in his life now.
Yeah, good work to stay in close and a scrappy final few seconds.
Entertaining little scrap there.
Absolutely, Steve. You know, we said this is one of the more highly credentialed amateur contests on the card. Matthews just sharing a few words with Dobbins. Looks like Dobbins may have picked up a rib injury of some sort there. He was clutching his side, and we see Coach Alex Enlund icing that down now. And that, if anything, makes that performance all the more impressive.
Better. How long has he been nursing that?
You know, if he's done that with a pop rib or a broken rib, I'm not sure that I saw any, you know, high-impact strikes going in there.
A couple of knees to the body got through, but nothing that kind of made the arena go, ooh.
No, you know, it could have been a positional thing that he's perhaps just popped the cartilage on that rib, which, you know, it's no more or less painful than having it broken. And the fact that he's been able to power through with some kind of injury there again speaks volumes. Mitch Dobbins will get the judge's decision here, but both these men will have a lot to take away from this one. Absolutely. And a lot to be proud about. We'll throw this one to our MC in the cage, Jonathan Millard, and he'll make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to our judges' scorecards. They scored the bouts 27-30, 27-30, 27-30. Your winner by unanimous decision in the red corner, Mitch